could imagine myself as the man there.
Which one? The hooded one, or okay?
The one rowing the boat there.
Okay, so you're bringing these like clothed people. Who are these people?
I would imagine that maybe it's my mother and my brother.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. And why are there swords there?
Yeah, but it seemed like they could be trapped by something. It feels like either the swords are protecting them or they're holding them in.
Like caged, kind of.
Yes, and I kind of relate more to the caged idea.
Okay. So where are you bringing them? Are you bringing them to someplace new, or are you bringing them back to somewhere old?
Somewhere better.
Okay. All right. So that means your career, if you don't mind me intruding, this is a bit outside of tarot now.
Okay.
So a bit outside of tarot. So your family does depend on you to some extent, or you feel that they should depend on you to some extent, which seems to be the way that you've narrated this visual. Mm-hmm.
So I would feel that they should be depending on me.
But they're not. But you feel they should.
Yes.
So once again, here is your fatherly figure. Could be your actual father or not, or whatever. But there's something here is saying that regardless of how serious you're taking it and whatever idealization you have here, you still have to feel that you're happy doing what you do. So it's always about that balance between doing what you love and getting paid. But at the same time, if you're just doing something because you feel like you have to do it no matter what, once you reach that finishing line, it may not be what you expect. And I think that's the biggest fear you have, right?
Yeah.
So to speak.
Okay.
Then
More swords.
More swords. Wow. So there's a lot of logics going on here. Narrate.
Interesting. I mean, this scene to me seems silly.
It could be anything. Depending on how you interpret it, it matters a lot too.
Seems pretty sly, sneaking away with swords, but to me it seems like he's doing it for fun rather than really any kind of gain.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel that you're the prankster or someone is pranking you?
I think it's I would, if I have to pick, I would say it's me.
Why? Is it because you're in this picture and they're swords you stole?
Oh, who knows? I don't know.
That's sort of what I'm seeing, but that's my bias. My bias here.
Yeah, I'm not really sure beyond that how to interpret that or how to relate.
Okay. Would you find that you need to put in more efforts to be logical than emotional based?
To make decisions, I think I have to be more emotional.
You have to be more emotional.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay. That's what you feel, but I mean, like, let's say if it didn't matter, it had equal weights, which one do you feel easier to do? Emotional-based decisions or logical-based decisions? So it's kind of like knowing your weakness, if that makes any sense.
I think I tend to make more logical-based decisions.
Okay.
Usually in argument between the two. But
Yeah, okay. But that's also what you like? You like being logical?
It's what I naturally do. It doesn't necessarily mean that's what I like.
It's just...
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's what I wanted to know. So once again, King of Cups is here again to say, well, you have to sort of put more emotions into your decisions, especially when the two following cards are very heavily sword-based. And one is like a 6, one is a 7. It's kind of gradual. So you're moving more towards a logical-based, like a decision-making process for your career. Once again, remember, this is career related. What fun stuff comes later. But career, you're focused a lot on logic. And I keep like pestering you about like if you're more inclined to which one is, because I wanted to sort of know if realize your real orientation. Everyone has a true orientation. There's who we are, and when we're born, society teaches us to be something else. So is this what society teaches you, or you are the swords? And then in that case, then the King of Cups is just here to say, well, you need a lighter touch of like a consideration. So maybe like when it comes to career, you're too serious about career to the point that the overloading comes from yourself because you're too hard on yourself. Not necessarily because certain jobs or gigs are too hard. It's just you have a high standard when it comes to career, which is not a bad thing, but you also need to be able to take a step back and process as opposed to say, I have to do this kind of thing. What we could do is, I'm gonna take the bottom card to see sort of like what else we could know about this. And you'll see there's no magic trick here. It's this again.
I shuffled that deck too.
Yeah, and no magic tricks, no CGs, guys. So this comes back out. I took it from the bottom because it's the technique I like to use sometimes when we're really like focused on a situation and we want to sort of find an alignment. So sometimes when we take the bottom card, it will get a wow factor. It could be a different card. In this case, it's a card we saw earlier, but it did create a wow factor. Hey, why is it here again? So it's really saying that this method of, I guess, focusing on careers, feeling like you have to take on a lot of load, feeling like you have to take more swords. Even though you have a lot of swords, you want to take even more swords because you need to be even more logical to have a right career path, would only lead to a burnout, as you mentioned. I'm using a bit of your own wording now.
Wow. Yeah.
So it's something to take into consideration. Once again, it's not good, bad, or it's not telling you that you have to do whatnot. But once again, the only advisor in this scenario would be the King of Cups.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think that's very often I overwork myself and use logic as how I
reason with yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, this is what makes sense. Not necessarily asking myself what makes me feel.
Yeah. So is this part clear? You like this?
Yeah, it feels quite clear.
Yeah. And I'm getting a lot of energy from this specific card. I just can't say anything more other than it's just someone or something telling you to take a step back once in a while and, you know, grab that beer in a bar or something. Just like there's always going to be a tomorrow that you can take care of something. So don't be too hard on yourself. I feel that's what it's trying to say. So now we can come here for the spice. Fine. Fun part. Yep. Ooh, nice.
Oh.
So here you have a King of Cup advisor, and here you have a King of Sword advisor.
Interesting placement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here we'll find something else, right? Okay, so here it says that you should be more serious in Let's Play and... I'm just kidding. Okay, so this is more, you said, your lifestyle, happiness, hobbies. What exactly were you thinking about? Like one hand was career and this was...
This was in terms of, my pastimes, fun, but more specifically with friends.
Mm-hmm.
And have yet to find...
Fit in, eh?
Yeah, that group. Yeah.
So once again, I mentioned before, all suits have a different inclination. So swords is based on logic, it's based on truth, it's based on thinking. So when I saw this, I was saying, oh, you mentioned something about fitting in. But how can you fit in with people who don't laugh at your jokes? People who don't think or see the world that you see it. So that's not, whereas here the swords are more logic, here the sword is more just thinking.
Okay.
How do you see life? How do you perceive certain things? So it's more intellectual as opposed to emotional, I guess, if that makes any sense. You have a lot of swords for some reason. So here you have like a page of swords. Earlier on, remember you had a page of cups, which was represented in the middle, and that was more talking about your gender orientation. But for some reason, when you talk about fitting in and finding your own group of friends, it's very driving towards like a specific sort of like a subset, or for lack of better words, a cult. You're looking for a specific cult that shares the same ideas that you have.
Okay.
Which sounds worse than it is. It's not, I can't find a better way to say it, but you know what I mean. It's just like certain people, you have, let's say, different groups of friends, and you have friends to do this, friends to do that. So there's a specific cult. I don't know what it is, but it's something that you're looking for. A type of way of thinking.
Yeah, okay.
That's
making sense, yeah.
Yeah, it's not making sense to me, but if it makes sense to you, that means it's working. Okay, then the last one we have here is, this one traditionally talks about heartbreak, but because you're getting so many swords right now, and most of them don't really seem to be as bloody as it usually is. So this one normally talks about, heartbreak, sadness, disappointment, stuff like that. Or maybe in this case it is too. Maybe you are disappointed with some friends or group you've joined recently and they just disappointed you. Maybe that's what it represents. How do you feel?
It really strikes a chord.
Yeah, it could be major, it could be minor, but it just says disappointment. It could be anything. Minor, major. Is there anything else you want to ask the whole here, or do you want to do the same thing like the bottom card, or because I'm not sure if it necessarily gives you the answer or more like direction.
Here I feel like it's telling me what it is, what the situation is, but less of an answer.
Okay. It would seem to me though that while you're here in Montreal, you've been focused more on career than this one though.
Yes, you'd be correct.
Yeah. You're not going to ask me how I know that?
Sorry, lad. Is my voice vibrating like a robot?